Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am making breakfast sausages myself. Now, when I was a little girl, my mother used to have to buy the pork and the fat, and she'd take it home and she would season it. Now I remember when the butcher said, we make it now, so you don't have to do that. So my mother started buying it that way. When I came up north, and as time has gone on, the sausages don't taste the same. They're cheaper made, and I'm not happy with it. So I had been searching how to make breakfast sausages, because we used to have them in patties. We didn't have them in links. We actually had to pat them out. And they're very rich, and they have good flavor when you do it that way. So in my 1931, I was just reading. I said, let me see what they have here. And it reads right there. I knew them as country sausages, but people up north call them breakfast sausages. And there was the recipe, and I jumped up and down. I was happy. Thank God I finally found it. Now, to start this, you'll need a butcher. You can't just go to the supermarket. You're going to need a butcher to do this for you. You need 1.5 pounds of pork butt, and you 8 ounces of pork fat back trimmed of the rind. Now, butchers do this, and they'll grind it up for you, so you don't have to worry about grinding it up. And I've got 3 pounds. So I am very excited about this. Now, the recipe is set for 2 pounds, so I'm going to be increasing it at the end of the video. I'll read the recipe just for the seasoning part for you, but I'm going to be adjusting it for me right now. But at the end, I'll read it out to make 2 pounds exactly. So I'm going to need, and you're going to hear me thinking while I'm doing this. Now, I am not using my salt blend. You're going to have to use regular iodized salt. So this is going to be, all right, this is for 2. I got 3. This is going to be half that. That's going to be 3 teaspoons. All right, this is going to be 1 tablespoon of salt. Now remember, I've got 3 pounds here, but I'll give you the recipe exactly for 2 pounds. I gave you the meat for 2 pounds. My butcher, actually, I told him what I was doing, and he said, okay, I know exactly what you need. Oh, he was so kind. All right, this is 2. We're going to need a tablespoon of black pepper. Believe me, you will taste the difference from what you get in the store if you do this yourself. All right, sage. Here's where I'm going to have to start thinking. All right, let's do 1.5 first. You're going to hear me thinking while I'm trying to do this. 1.5 teaspoons. That'd be 3/4. So this would be 2 1/4 teaspoons. That's sage. Let's see, I need to have what's going to be. It's going to be. And then that'll have to be 1/8. Yeah, I have to do all this thing. 1/8 and 2 will be 1/4. Okay, 1/8 would be 1/16. Okay, I'm gotta do some math. Just give me time here. And half of this is the 16th. Okay. You only want half of this. Okay. Is that half? Just about. Okay. Pinch of cloves now. Now a pinch of clove is 1/16. Okay. I have to increase this because I'm doing more. So half is 1/16. These 3. That should be enough. And red pepper a pinch. Yeah, you got hot peppers in those things. Most people don't know. Okay, there, we got that. Okay, now let's see. I need 1/4, and that'll be 2 tablespoons. Now we need 2 tablespoons. And we're going to be adding water to this. I know, you're sitting there saying, what? Yeah, we're going to add water to it too. Now what do I have to do? Just give me a minute, because I haven't done this in years. Okay, now we're going to mix this up thoroughly. I will give you the recipe. Don't worry. I put everything in here and it already smells good. Now you have to mix this thoroughly up. Because if you don't do this, you won't have the seasonings worked out throughout the sausage. And this is what you have to do. And what did you do? After you do this, I am going to divide it up into thirds and stick it back in the freezer. And then I have 3 pounds. A pound to make patties to go with eggs or waffles or pancakes for breakfast. And this is the recipe for breakfast sausages, though if you're in the country, you call them country sausages. And they say do work this in thorough. So you see all the seasonings that go into breakfast sausages. I know the water was what threw me off on that one. Now see, when we made patties, my mother used to take a little bit like this. Well, I can't shape it perfectly, but she made little flat patties and we had them like that. We didn't have them in casings. And in 1700, they didn't always do it in the casing. If they didn't have the casing, they used to take their sausage. I'm sure they used wet hands, mine are tacky, and they would roll it out into a cylinder. And they would fry it up like that. So there's different ways of having sausages, though you know them as link sausages now. Not everybody could do that, so they did it other ways. Now, let me clean my hands. This is going to be so good. I can't wait to have it. my scale out, and I am going to be measuring this. Freeze it. You can freeze it up to 2 months. Believe you me, it'll be gone before then. But I'm going to get freezer wrap after I weigh it out and get it going and get it back into that freezer. And that's how you make lovely breakfast sausages. Now I'm going to read that recipe to you for 2 pounds only, because I had to adjust it because I had 3 pounds. Next time I'm going to get 4 pounds, and I'll just double the recipe, which will be better because we do like it. So if you're not going to do these right away, remember they can sit in the freezer for 2 months. Just wrap them up in freezer wrap and date them, you know, mark them. Now, here is the recipe for 2 pounds. You need 1.5 pounds of pork butt, 8 ounces of pork fat back trimmed of the rind. Now, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of coarsely ground black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of dried sage, 1/2 teaspoon dried marjoram, 1/4 teaspoon of dried summer savory, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, a pinch of ground cloves, a pinch of ground red pepper, and 1/4 of a cup of water. You work it with your hands, mix it thoroughly, and if you're doing like me, freezing it, you know, get the freezer wrap and do what you have to do. But if you're going to have it for breakfast, you just make them into little patties. That's all you do. And you fry them up. They're really quite nice. But they say let it sit a little bit to get all those seasonings. Well, don't worry, mine's going to be in the freezer. They're going to work. So take care. Bye-bye.